youngest riders over there. All
Yeah.
right, we're live officially.
Cool.
And we're just live just so we can record it and send it to other people. We're not like
We're like on Facebook right now.
Like now you're on Facebook and everyone's watching you.
Oh yeah, that's something.
Okay, so I tried sending you guys some documents just now. It's still trying to send it. I probably should have sent it before I started broadcasting like a bajillion terabytes through my computer. I don't even think this is so funny because Fiona's face is smiling all the time. It just feels like I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, why didn't you turn on your? Can she turn on her camera?
I don't know. Fiona, can you turn on your?
That's a hard no. That was a hard no. That was.
She said no.
Well, I'm just saying that's a hard no. We got no reaction, so that's a hard no.
Okay.
Is she there still?
I think she's being kidnapped.
She sounds far away.
She's far, like they're dragging her away.
No, I said she sounds far away.
Phone call.
Oh,
I put it on my phone instead, so maybe I'll have a face.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hey, is this backwards to you guys?
Nope.
No, it's good.
Like you can read this right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're not with you shaking it, but yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Dom, do you know Fiona and Maria? Like, does
No.
everyone know each other except
Nobody knows anybody, more or less.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody.
for me? Yeah. Can we do introductions? Maybe.
Yes.
Like, okay. And like who you know and how like like who knows Alan and who knows each other and.
Yeah. So let's start with Dom because he's the furthest left box on my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Dom, youth minister in Atlanta. I worked with Alan at Covecrest, and I guess that's the connection here. And I'm pumped. I have no idea what we're talking about tonight, but I'm. I was just with Alan yesterday in Ohio, so I haven't had much time to catch up on emails and stuff. I'm sure when it comes through, I'll be caught up.
Oh no, you were in Detroit yesterday. But
Yeah.
Wait. I was with you in Ohio the day before. Also, I'm drinking scotch. I don't know what everybody else is doing. Scotch is my go-to for. I felt like this was a big night, so I don't know.
It is. And Dom, you're married, right?
Yes, yes. Sarah Kroger, if anybody knows her, is my wife. And I don't know.
But it's now Sarah Quagg.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I don't know why.
Pretty rad. You should add that part.
She's pretty rad. Yeah, she's. Alan wanted me to say she's rad, which she is.
Okay, so then you would know Father Joe Fitzgerald, right?
Yeah. He preached at our wedding.
Yeah. I used to be a youth minister in the Diocese of Rockville Center.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, I love him.
So funny because Fiona just pops up like in all conversations.
I kind of don't want to have a face. I just want it to stay like that.
Awesome, Dom. Well, thanks for
I'm looking at this on my computer, and I'll try it on my phone. So,
Fiona, since your face is the talk of the town, how about introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us what you're doing in life.
my name is Fiona. I don't know what to tell you about myself. Right now, I'm the director of youth ministry at a big ass parish in Texas. And yeah, I'm discovering the Texas. I'm originally from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So, all there and not here.
I like it.
But yeah, I met Alan at Franciscan. We're good buds with a lot of the same buds.
Yeah. Edmund, this is weird. Why is everyone making their connection to me?
Huh?
Everyone's like telling their story how they know me.
Yeah, because everyone knows you. Like,
I guess so, but that's not going to make you guys bond.
What?
I don't know. I want you guys to feel bonded at the end of this.
I'll tell my story of how I know Edmund instead of you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Fiona.
Where is
Big ass
Where in
Parish,
Texas are you?
Texas.
Pardon?
Where in Texas are you, Fiona?
I'm in Spring,
Spring? Where's that?
right outside of Houston.
It's
Like
like season.
It's the Woodlands.
Wait, what?
not in the Woodlands. I'm in Spring.
Oh, so you're near the Woodlands. So you're near, do you know Jonathan Cardinal?
I've met him one time.
Oh, okay. That's all I know about the Woodlands.
I know his sisters.
You know his sister?
Yeah.
When did you graduate from Franciscan?
Eternal question. When did I graduate from Franciscan? 2015? 2014.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm placing you. I'm getting it.
It was a thing.
I'm getting all,
Thanks, Fiona.
I'm getting all
But
your,
I'm going to hang up on this and call back on my phone, so hopefully you can see my face.
Okay.
All right, but you better keep smiling when you're live.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, Maria, I just saw you swig some beer, so you're up.
Yeah.
Tell us about your life. Don't tell us how you know me. That's weird.
Why? How is that weird?
I
But
don't know.
so I ministry, middle school youth ministry with Alan in in Steubenville,
In the bill.
and right now I'm a director of faith formation in New Jersey, but I'm originally from Long Island, so I just moved to New Jersey like a month ago, and it's really fun. It's a tiny parish, and my pastor is reminds me of Carol Wojtyla, so it's pretty fun.
Did you say your pastor is Karol Wojtyla?
Yeah, he reminds me of him. He's Polish and young and pretty much same personality that I would imagine Carol Wojtyla to have.
That's cool.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Meh.
Nice,
Fiona, I
Fiona.
can
Welcome.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're happy to be in the animated world.
I really am. It's pretty amazing.
All right. Well, next will be my wife.
I'm Kelsey. I know Alan. I married him. I knew him first. I'm studying to be a wellness coach. Right now I have the privilege of being a stay-at-home wife, which is the best thing ever. I married Alan for the money. And yeah, I got roped into Reverb as the editor for the articles.
Awesome.
We need those.
We do. All right. Edmundo, you're up, bro.
My name's Edmund. I met Alan. Many years
I
ago.
hate you
Like
so
a-
much.
Fell in love with him. We sat on the couch in my office, and the rest is history. I have 4 kids. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. What?
The one eating the cord makes this introduction.
That's fine. And yeah, we have 4 kids. We live in Fort Worth, Texas. I work as the director of. Technically, my title is the director of youth evangelization and catechesis, but I primarily run the high school. I run the high school youth ministry program.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
yeah, and that's how I know Alan.
Thanks, Edmund. Thanks so much.
Alan and I used to work together. We used to live together.
It's true.
Until Kelsey stole Alan from me.
Shut up. You ran away from us.
I was also going to say I know Edmund a little bit just through their love affair.
Yeah.
I'm the third wheel here.
Well, I mean, I
Were
think
you a
Well, I'm going to take that awkward moment to a different thing. This is the fun part of the Google Hangout where we get to play what the hell do you think Reverb culture is?
Dom is like, I don't even know why I'm on this call.
Yeah, I've for 2 years now I've been a Reverb contributor and have not contributed anything, but it's awesome.
That's totally in the spirit of Reverb too.
Yeah, I'll answer the question, and this could be way off. What I've always sort of, I guess, assumed Reverb was a place for young adults to get some sort of like solid input on what's going on in the world, and also just insight into the catechism that you can no longer get from an article on lifeteen.com because they're geared towards teens and they're sort of stupid sometimes. Even the ones I write, like the stuff that I write for Life Teen, they're always trying to like reshape the language for a teenager. And as in fact, I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't really want to read that, so I don't really want to write that. So I've always thought of Reverb as kind of the best new thing for those of us who are not in high school anymore. But maybe
it's a place where you and Greg can swear.
Yeah.
I always felt like that was like Greg's big, like he just wants to swear in an article. Like that's just what Greg wants to do. He just wants to be
like Greg wants to do.
But not in real life.
Yeah.
Articles.
Yeah.
Dom, that was like an excellent answer to what the hell do you think reverb culture is? Cheers to you, my friend. Me and Edmund were talking about what we're gonna ask people, and that was the first question: is we need to ask people what the hell do they think reverb culture is? Blah, blah.
Because we're like definitely seeking like self-inflicted criticism.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna tell you what. So who's next? Fiona, you look like you're ready to tell us what the hell you think reverb culture might be.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm gonna be honest. But I've been following it since the beginning, and I was like, this is really cool. I think it's a thing, but I don't know that I can articulate like what exactly it is. I know that it's trying to make the catechism a livable resource for a Catholic living in the world today, I think is what I would say to this.
Wow. Write that one down, Edmund. She was the closest. Whoever gets to guess the closest to this gets a free beer.
Next person, go to the website.
Don't go to the website.
Well, I mean, part of the reason we're asking is just because we've had such a hard time articulating what exactly we want it to be about. And the thing, like, the more we've experimented with stuff, the more we've come up with things that we like, enjoy doing, things that work, things that didn't work, and like figuring out. I think more than anything, it's just a creative outlet for Catholic young adults who want to make
Whoa. Are you giving the answer, Edmund?
No. I'm not giving the answer, but I'm just saying that like it has been kind of this experimental
P.S.
ground.
We do know what we're about, and if you're wondering what this whole Google Hangout is about, is us. We've really been doing this for like 3 years trying to articulate it, and we finally have been able to articulate it, and that's why you're listening to us on a Monday night where you could be reading tons of blogs about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, but instead you're here. You're awesome. So, Maria, you can tell us what you think. What the hell do you think reverb culture is?
Well, I kind of skimmed the website a little bit, and I saw the catechism a lot. And so I think it has something to do with the catechism, and I assume living... I guess like trying to help young adults live Catholic life.
Whoa, even
using
closer.
the catechism as like a foundation, huh?
Yeah. That was close, Maria. Well, now let's see what my wife, who lives in my house and hears all of my conversations out loud. Kels, what do you think?
Oh, I know what Reverb is. It is an outlet for Alan to explore his semi-erotic relationship with Edmund Mitchell.
Oh my gosh. There are children in this Google Hangout.
Not listening.
That word was too big to be understood.
I understood it very well.
Uh-huh.
If you guys...
We read them Love and Responsibility like at night just before they go to bed.
Perfect.
You read them Love and Responsibility. If you guys can go to your Gmail, I think it should have now reached your inbox. But we have sent you the guide for reverb culture and also the thing that we're going to be shooting out. So while you're looking for that, me and Edmund will actually tell you what our vision is after years of really trying to figure out what the heck we're doing. Because the same question we've asked you guys, we have asked ourselves like 300 times. But now we've actually gotten to it. Right, Edmund?
Yes, right.
So if you guys can pull up your Gmail stuff, your Gmail in your inbox should be the Writer's Guide for Reverb Culture. And this is our mission. This is what it is, if you guys are ready for this.
I still didn't get it.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, screw you guys because it's. No, you'll get it eventually. All right, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, are you listening?
I'm ready.
Nope.
My face is so red from drinking like 2 sips of whiskey.
You're lightweight.
I am lightweight.
Are you-
Okay.
Are you gonna say in the crazy like radio DJ voice, like Reverb Culture?
Alan's been using an Australian accent lately. It's really good.
I'm not Australian accent.
It's really good.
I'll use it eventually. Okay. I guess before I just read it, I kind of want to say the history really quick. Or do you want to do that, Edmund?
I'll do the history. We're going kind of slow here.
I know.
So.
Do the history in 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. Well, I feel like everyone kind of knows the history. We started the website a while back. Oh man, hold on one second.
Did he just poop his pants? Like poop everywhere? It looked like he just pooped everywhere. What?
I think he was stepping on another kid.
All right, this is pretty much what it is. Edmund and I have been trying to make Reverb Culture. We're obsessed with the catechism, but for good reasons. We recognize that there's a lot of people who live disbalanced lives, disbalanced Catholic lives, or imbalanced Catholic lives. That's why she's the editor. They've been living imbalanced Catholic lives. And so what we want to do with Reverb Culture is give people this 4-pillar lifestyle structure. So, is Dom lighting a candle?
Sorry, yeah, it's a anti-mosquito thing.
Are you outside?
Yeah, but my wife's all freaked out about Zika, so I gotta.
Good for you, protecting the world.
Yeah.
All right, as you guys,
So
also lighting one up for us.
Good call. Light it up.
Oh, I don't even have candles in here.
One up.
Nice, you just been one up, Dom. Okay. As you guys know, the catechism is broken up into 4 pillars. There's the creed, the sacraments, morality or life in Christ, and prayer. All right. A lot of Catholics today, whether they're old or young, they end up living in only one pillar or the other. This is why we have like those cars with Catholic bumper stickers up and down their car, and they like convert no one, right? Probably because they know they know like the rules really well, but they like don't pray. Or switch it around. Maybe you have someone who wants to be Mother Teresa and is serving people all the time, but is not being sustained by a sacramental life, stuff like that. Does that make sense? Everyone's super disbalanced, including myself and Edmund. I called you out, Edmund. Sorry. And so what we want to do with Reverb Culture, what we're about to launch is called living a 4-pillar spirituality. So what should be in your mailboxes, even though you guys are lying to me and telling me that it's not in your mailboxes, what should be in your mailboxes should be the examination of balance, which is a 15-question. It takes you like 10 minutes, and it'll show you exactly where you're deficient in any of the pillars. It's really, really cool. If you guys want to know, I'm deficient in creed, in sacraments. No, yeah, I got it up. And more. Anyways, you guys can take it. That's the point. It's in your mailboxes.
Awesome.
But if we were to tell you exactly what it is, our mission is to lead others to encounter God unfiltered. Reverb Culture is all about like pure divine revelation and our response to God as he has revealed himself through salvation history, the sacraments, the apostles' teachings, and prayer. Those are like the 4 pillars you just heard there. And then the goal for each of our articles and our resources is to inspire Catholic young adults to live more spiritually balanced lives rooted in the 4 pillars of the catechism. So there you go. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so to kind of go a little bit deeper and in a way even more simply, we want Catholic young adults to start to be inspired to go to the source of God. That sounds kind of weird, but like too many people just go to other speakers to like understand the Catholic faith, or they just read books, or they just get opinions. We really want to push people to encounter God from the direct source. That's why I said like the sacraments, and really it's the catechism, those 4 pillars set that up for us.
Yeah.
So our articles and our resources are there to inspire people to go back to that. And Edmund's really been I'm talking a lot, but this is really a lot of Edmund's it's been tons of Edmund just researching and putting this together. The idea is that we want people to encounter God and then respond to that, like directly responding to God. Because what ends up happening when everyone, like Dom made actually a really good point, like if everyone just goes to Life Teen for their resources on Catholic faith, you end up getting kind of like a cookie cutter culture. No offense for Life Teen if you're listening to this in some way, shape, or form. But there's nothing even for young adults like along those lines besides like, I don't know, Catholic National Register, which is for older folks, I guess. So yeah, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say like there's kind of two really big motives for Reverb. Like initially I started Reverb because I didn't see the thing that I was like seeking in an online, like in a community or in like something that existed. And the type of thing I was looking for was something that had really high quality writing that was really authentic and wasn't overly concerned with presenting some type of like really sterile image of what it's like to be a young adult and a young adult Catholic, right? And then the other thing was, so that's like the one big ulterior motive was to create this place that was a little more like true to my experience of the Catholic Church and at the time of my life that I'm in. But then the ulterior motive, like the deeper motive, was the fact that the more I came across the catechism and discovered like this thing that I had all these preconceived notions about, the more I realized that there's this huge opportunity to kind of like turn all the preconceived notions on its head completely, right? And at the beginning that played out as like combining whiskey and the catechism together, right? Or like just doing really weird stuff. I mean, the website has been traditionally and almost kind of forcefully and purposefully, I mean, there's not a lot of like, it's very modern looking in its aesthetic, right? Like there's not a whole lot of like Renaissance art. There's not a whole lot of that stuff, right? And in some ways it was kind of like purposeful because I think my initial reaction, if I think about the catechism or someone talks about it, is I'm thinking of like a crappily designed, super super intellectualized resource or something like that. So to do the opposite of that was always kind of the goal. So like my ulterior motive and a lot of my, I don't want to say my life's work, but it's just like a lot of time and energy has been spent in how do you break open the catechism a lot better for people. And I think for young adults, it's a pretty good model of like a lifestyle that you could live. But the other thing is like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's like one of the biggest things is how do you normalize this spirituality that stems, or this like way of life that stems from kind of making your own way in the sources. And so, and not like finding your way into heresy, but just like, especially as a young adult, like to kind of just take time yourself and to reflect on just the deeper issues than just what makes its way into the media oftentimes. So like, for instance, like there are very little places out there, or very little like, I don't know, media outlets or places where people are blogging about the Trinity, right? Like really compellingly, you know, and it's like a lot of like bloggers and stuff like that. They either like a lot of these like Catholic websites and stuff, they either comment on really current issues, like hot button issues, problems that are happening, or they just are giving like a really earnest, but just like a kind of like a high level inspirational, like I saw a sunset today, and that reminded me that God is beautiful and we should try to be beautifully and right. And it's like so there's this disconnect between like the inspiration and like how hard hitting dogma is, right? Like, and so I don't know, I think exploring those deeper fundamental beliefs that we have in a really raw and kind of honest and authentic way as a young adult, like as who we are, I think is really needed. And I think not being able to shy away from the fact that like, how the crap do I wrap my head around the Trinity and what difference does that make in my life, right? Yeah. And I think that's a real opportunity for something that is, I don't really see a lot. Like we see a lot of really inspirational, like I'm struggling with this thing, and then I just, God helped me through it, right? But we're not really seeing like I'm struggling with like the belief that Jesus is both divine and human, and like here's how that plays out in my life. Like I try to bring Jesus to like down to earth as a human person, and I don't respect his divinity. And here's how the church's dogma on this like does impact my life. And so a lot of, Pope Benedict was kind of calling for this. He had a whole book he wrote called Dogma and Preaching, where he was basically saying like priests don't do a good enough job of connecting dogma to real life experience.
Yeah.
They're not taking dogma, finding it through scripture, and then presenting it to people in a way that it changes their life. Like what is the practical implication, and like how can we deepen our understanding of those things? So that's kind of the underlying thing. The part that's hard is if you're trying to do something, if you're trying to get a whole bunch of people to care about something that they don't care about, it can be really difficult to do it without just showing them. So like, just to be completely honest, a lot of there's been friends of mine that have been like, I would be more interested in Reverb if it was less about the catechism, right? And it's like, it hurts my heart because it's like, oh, that's like kind of my ulterior motive for it. But historically, like doing events like, hey, come learn about the catechism, people aren't like super excited about that, right? But when we can show people this like lifestyle of reflecting on dogma and how that plays out in our life, and not being super teachy, and not being like, this is how you can intellectually understand the Trinity, but just seeing the dogma of the Trinity in my life, or seeing the incarnation, or seeing how that stuff plays out, and struggling with it and exploring it and seeing it in other topics or stories that are around us. I think that's kind of like the really deep ulterior motive for Reverb is that kind of like, there's substance and content, but it's not teachy, it's not sterile, and it doesn't shy away from suffering or confusion or those types of things. I don't know. Does any of that make sense?
And just to add to that, and I think the way that this is like, why this is so much fun is because, yeah, you're trying to make people, it's like, I mean, in a way it's very hipstery, because you're trying to make people do something that they would never in 1,000 years think they wanted to do. But what's cool about it, I think Edmund likes challenges just to piss people off. Like, he loves that stuff. But we actually found there's a lot of content to this. Like, it's my hope and our hope is, like, as writers, you're not just writing some blog that someone asked you to do and it's like, yeah, I'll do it because, like, I'm a nice person. Like, you probably might be there right now, but our hope is that, like, this actually changes your life, because it's changed our lives in a really, like, real unexpected way. There's a profoundness to our lives that has happened because of the catechism, and it's not because we know theology now better because of the catechism. The heart of it is that we are allowing God to talk to us first, instead of trying to, like, understand him with our own words first. Like, we are allowing God to initiate the conversation, which is how the whole catechism is written. He initiates the conversation either through the sacraments, or through the creed, or through our Christian community, or through our prayer. And then when we respond, that creates the culture. And that's why Reverb, that's like Reverb culture, that's where it gets its word. Like when we respond to revelation, it creates a culture that is so much more profound and so much more deeper than what we have out there in the secular world and even in the like public Catholic sphere. Like you're gonna shine, you're gonna outshine folks, and it's not in a preachy way, it's in an authentic way, and people are drawn to that from both the secular side and especially those like kind of shallow Catholicism, I guess. So what are y'all's thoughts on that? Like our next question for you guys is like what Catholic kind of websites are out there that inspire you, and what's something that you kind of want to do?
Processing.
Yeah.
And I think the what we were more going for is just like having a discussion about, and it doesn't have to be Catholic. It could just be like what like media outlets or what places are you going where you're seeing examples of something that is very inspiring or is very like attractive. I know for me, there's a lot of NPR or like NPR based podcasts that do very like the whole like narrative journalism type of like open-ended, just kind of exploring questions and letting that exploration of a question just kind of speak for itself instead of saying like, this is what we believe. It's more like, what does it mean to be afraid? Like, what does that really mean? You know, like, or just whatever it is. And I think those for me are really powerful and moving. And I don't see a lot of that as much from too many Catholic media places.
What do y'all think?
Yeah. I think it's a beautiful vision, first of all. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. There's something so key in a balanced lifestyle, but also in saying as adults, we have to take ownership for the whole faith. We can't just kind of limp by with checking the boxes. Like right now I'm doing a lot of confirmation stuff and realizing like these kids are going to graduate and leave and never be back in church and never learn how to live a real Catholic life because no one in their life is A, teaching what that looks like, and B, teaching them to do the same. And I think, you know, Life Teen is awesome. Franciscan is awesome. There are so many great little Catholic bubbles, but they create a separate culture sometimes. And I struggled at Franciscan with, I felt like the assumption was if you like submerge into that culture, then you found holiness because everyone here is holy. And so if you look like everyone else, then you're good to go. And I was like, but I don't look like everyone else, but I think that there's a way that I'm called to be holy as the person that I am. And so I think that like incarnational kind of wrestling with our faith, like how on earth am I called to be a saint because I'm not Francis or Teresa or whoever else. I just think that's awesome. And I think I loved what you said about it being a hipster thing. Like, I just want to convert hipsters. They really desperately want to be Catholic. They want to read every book, and they want like the best of everything, and they want these like tight local communities. And I'm like, wait, yes, I have those things. So yeah, that's all stuff that makes me excited.
Awesome.
Rant over.
Yeah, I really like the idea of the catechism as a guide for formation for young adults, because I think I've encountered some young adults like after graduation and just listening to some of the things that they say and all the things that maybe they don't know. I'm thinking like, how do you get through life without knowing this? Like, I think I only know it because of like the places I've been blessed to be and the way that I've been formed. And so in like a way to take that to a level where more people can really receive it in a way that's relatable, I think that would be awesome. I really like that. And I like the idea of taking revelation and just like meeting God himself rather than taking it, like you said, from other sources. I think that's perfect. I'm kind of thinking, why didn't I think of that? Like I never like thought of this before.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. As far as media goes that I look to, I don't, at this point, I'm looking for something like short and to the point. I'm looking for something I can look at quickly and get the idea. But also I like stuff that will lead me to more. So if I find like a really awesome quote by someone, then I'm going to want to go read that book. So it's something that's going to lead me to more information, to actually sit down when I have the time to find more information. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, one thing I was gonna say really quickly is like that I think Fiona was saying, like not just kind of like having your reaction or just like being obviously like being yourself or being unique, but that's what else is really interesting is that everyone can have their own perception and experience and reaction to revelation, right? Like the Trinity hits people differently, and not that like they have their own view of it or they have their own belief of it, but just that when I reflect on the incarnation, like there's things that come to mind for me, or there's stories in my life, or there's things like the ways that it's changed me, right? And that's different for every person. Like when Alan is praying with the incarnation, or you know what I mean? So that's something that I'm really excited about, is seeing lots of writers for Reverb giving not their own, it's not like their own take on the Trinity or the incarnation or these like fundamental doctrines, but it's just like watching other people's reactions to those things or like how it's playing out in their life. It really helps me like think through it and try to be more intentional with my life and those things, as opposed to just focusing on like the election and the pro-life movement and then one other thing, right? I think I am really susceptible to getting caught up in focusing so hard on those things.
Dom, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I love it as well. I think, as far as outlets I go to, like, for example, what I was saying about Life Teen, the reason I contribute to Life Teen right now is because I love it, because I know that what they do for teenagers is incredible. I know it's making a massive difference in teenagers' lives. When I said that, the articles, the articles are great for a lot of teenagers. I think what I was trying to say is the issue is that a lot of teenagers become college students, become young adults in the workforce, and still don't have anywhere else to go but Life Teen. And obviously the article's not written for them. The one place I've turned to, a friend of mine, Jordan, has a website / Facebook, I guess, page called the Catholic Outpost. And the only reason I go to it, other than the fact that he's my friend, is because he's really smart. And a lot of other people I think that write for him are like priests or deacons that he knows, and they're all really smart. And the reason I like that is because typically I'm not, and so I need to be up to date on what the smart people are saying, because I'm more heart than head. Like I was in we were planning the theme for next year's Life Teen summer camps a couple weeks ago. I was in this meeting with a couple different people, and Stephen Estes was one of them, and Jimmy Mitchell, and all these smart people. And then there were other people in the room like me. And so at the end of it, we were all sharing stuff. We were sharing like the same stuff. And we were trying to get at the same thing, but we were saying it differently. And I told everybody, I was like, this is where you have like Catholic college and community college come together and like form this beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And so like I would be the community college part of that. But sometimes I go to, like, for example, right now I go to the Catholic Outpost if I'm curious to know what smart, holy people are saying, because there are times in my own life where I find myself not really sure how to articulate what the church is saying about something or what a smart person would say about something. And it's not that I don't believe it, it's just that I don't know how to articulate it. And so I'll go to a place where somebody's articulating it really well. The other thing I like about the vision that you were sharing, especially with like the 4 pillars and things, is I know in my own life, like, for example, one of the things I go to is this guy, this author, Bob Goff. Like his Instagram, he just like every day he's like posting a new like quote, like literally 1 or 2 sentences. And that's sometimes all I can take in, but they almost always change the course of my day. But the reason I say that is like in Atlanta, there's a lot of mega churches and stuff. And I typically go to Passion City on Sunday mornings because I love what they do and I love the message and the worship and all that. But I've noticed that going to like a Protestant mega church every Sunday, in addition to Mass, obviously, has sort of created in me this like sort of this individuality as far as like I can do this myself. I don't need a community, and kind of this like, this is going to sound so dumb. I haven't really thought this out. This is the first time I've really talked about this, but almost like this like focus solely on Jesus, which is obviously a good thing. But in terms of like forgetting about a spiritual life, forgetting about community, forgetting about the sacraments, and just focusing on like how much Jesus loves me and how awesome the way that the speaker made it seem like in the Gospel of Luke, that one thing. And that's all I need ever. And so now like the Gospel of Luke, like that's my religion, you know what I mean? And it's easy to just kind of fall into that. So even though it's focused on Jesus, having the pillars of a spiritual life to keep us rooted when the sort of emotional stuff isn't really there. All of those things sort of combined to make me think that this is a really good idea, I guess.
That was really good, Dom. Don't
Amen.
you dare think that you went to community college. Sound like you graduated from the Pontifical of Rome.
No,
Which one?
The best one. Kels, what do you think?
I love what you're doing with Reverb right now because, like I said in my introduction, I'm studying wellness. So I read a lot of blogs and websites about wellness and nutrition and a lot of things about the body, and super important to take care of your body. And then I kind of get the other side with Reverb, and the whole picture comes together with like body, mind, and spirit. And I think like I can get a lot from any website about how to take care of my body, and then what Reverb is really trying to do is like feed the other side of my wellness as a whole person, of the intellect and my spirituality. So I think it's super important. Alan and I were talking about it's really cool because like our missions are like coming together now in Reverb and what I'm doing. So it's really fun, but I'm excited about what we're doing.
Yeah, it's been really cool hearing Kelsey's side, like with the nutrition and stuff, like how disbalanced people are on a health side. Like they'll work out forever, but they only sleep like 3 hours a day or something like that. It's like you do a lot in one direction, but you totally just disregard the other, and it just wrecks whatever good stuff you're doing. And seeing that has allowed me to see the analogy of our faith life at the same time. Like you could be praying so much, but if you can't like defend the creed in any way, shape, or form, it's almost like you're screwing yourself over. Or you could be I don't even know, going to daily mass every day, but like there's people who go to daily mass and they never actually intimately pray, and it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's like, I don't care how much you go to mass, like you're a jerk. Stuff like that. So
this is
I can still hear you. Just one second.
I started a list when I got here because I was like, these kids have no knowledge of the faith. They've got a lot of fluff and they have no actual basic religious instruction. So I just started this like thing, and I just started it with my boss, who's a newly ordained priest. And I was like, Father, can you name all 12 apostles? And he's like, no, why would I need to? And I'm like, because they died for you. So you could hear that. It seemed important at the time. I'm like, okay, 10 Commandments, like just really basic instruction. And I'm amazed like how few people know any of that. And I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, yeah, I was reading this. Anyway, many connections later, there was this really cool thing. One of those things talking about like everything that we know about God, if we love him, it becomes more for us to love about him. That like knowledge of God becomes more information for us to love about him as a person. And I think that is something that's hugely missing, that we have. Sometimes we divide out even within the church into like either you're a rad trad or you're a charismatic, or you either live your faith very strictly in this camp or in this camp. And I think the beauty of Catholicism is that it's a both and. I should know my faith both intellectually, I should be able to articulate it, but more than that, I should be able to love the person that I'm talking about. And I think that's like a really cool unity that I could see happening in this project. So
yeah, it drives me.
And I think a lot of people don't have a really good framework for how to like I think there are a lot of Catholics like who think or who say, I really want to learn more about my faith, but they don't really have a good framework of how does like, one, where do I go to learn more about my faith? And two,
Yeah.
how does that fit into the like my practical life? And then they don't have a framework of like how to discern what things can I learn about my faith? Like what's the importance of this thing that I could learn about my faith, right? Like, so going really, really deep on the Inquisition, while like really helpful and important in some way, like there's like there are other basic things that could be way more beneficial, especially if you're just starting out. And obviously, like some people are, drawn to different things in the faith, and it's not that like we're just poo-pooing if someone wants to learn something about the faith or the church. But I think in the early church they had a really laser focus on the apostles' teaching, the Ten Commandments, like the sacraments and prayer, right? And that framework of like, here's your life, here are these 4 boxes, like at least articulate the creed, and does that, like you were saying, like does that increase your relationship with
I
God?
like barking.
No.
Yeah, I know, right?
So anyways, yeah, I think all that's really good stuff. I'm gonna have to go soon, but I think, what are we going next, Alan? Like the call to action, the stuff that we're.
Yeah. Okay. So this has been a really good conversation, but just wrapping it up, more or less. So.
I have something. Wait, hold on.
I'm holding.
The thing I was gonna say is, but with all of these conversations, like, really, I do really believe that Reverb also, in a way, is a really great experimental like laboratory, right? So all of these things are things that we have working and the things that we're excited about, but at the same time, like if it in some way falls in line with some of that mission, like we're totally open to anything, right? Like one time Tim Glemkowski wrote an article, and then later we were like, let's turn it into an ebook. We've experimented with podcasts before. We've done so I would love for Reverb to be a place where, I mean, if you have an idea for something else to do that's related to the mission, but yeah, like I'm definitely really passionate about that. Like I don't want it to be just a place with a lot of words. I think that's great, but I would love for it to flow out of that and get bigger than just like we're just some people that write some articles, and you know what I mean? Like
We want you to share your life, really. Your life should be a response to revelation, and that's going to look different in every different person.
Yeah. What'd you say, Fiona?
I said we just really like the catechism, okay?
Yeah, so everything that Edmund said is exactly what we want you guys to write. So getting really practical for your articles. It is in your mailbox. Kind of the guidelines and stuff. But we want your articles to be a response to revelation. I get really frustrated with cookie cutter Christianity. I think you are probably frustrated with cookie cutter Christianity. Mother Teresa looks nothing like St. Thomas Aquinas. Pope John Paul II looks nothing like Pope Benedict or Pope Francis. But all 3 of them are like the holiest people that we've probably ever seen in our lives. And so Edmund's saintliness should look totally different from Maria's saintliness, and Dom's saintliness should look as close as possible to Chuck Norris's saintliness, because they're both just as awesome. Sorry, I had to do that. No, but seriously, so what we want you to do is Edmund is about to finish an ebook that explains the 4-pillar spirituality. It's phenomenal. It's probably Edmund's best writing. I'm not just like kissing his butt or continuing my erotic romance.
There it is.
So what's gonna make all this make a lot of sense for you is, as soon as you're done with this, check your email. There's gonna be an examination of balance. It will tell you exactly where you're deficient in any of the 4 pillars. And all of the questions are taken almost directly out of the catechism, but in a way that you can really practically check yourself. And I like how it turned out, because I didn't score a perfect score, which means that I made it very unbiased. I have a lot to work on, and that's really good. And it's so, and let me just kind of frame this in another way too, how big this could be. I gave a formation to men who are going to become deacons next year for the diocese on Saturday, and I gave them the examination of balance. They were blown away by it. Like they loved it because they have been taught stuff for like 4 years now, but this is the first time that they were able to like start incorporating an actual Christian life and know what it looks like, and then display that so that it can be authentically attractive to everybody. So
they've been taught stuff.
What?
They've been taught stuff.
They've been taught a lot of stuff.
Just taught lots of stuff.
For 4 years, they've been taught stuff.
Lots of stuff.
They love the
take the test.
Love stuff.
And then your goal as a writer, like what Edmund said is totally true. We want you guys to create different things. Like we want this to eventually become just resources of whatever your mind ends up getting inspired by the catechism to do. And not just the catechism, but Revelation. But for article's sake, what we're trying to do is you're going to give people who are reading the blogs, they're also going to be taking the examination of balance and living the 4-pillar spirituality. Your article is going to give them a supplement to one of these pillars. It doesn't have to be that, but that's kind of what we're aiming for.
And just showing that that like response, like showing that, like teaching by showing instead of necessarily being so explicitly like, hey, you have to love the catechism, you know?
Yeah. So like Edmund made some suggestions of like how to do Liturgy of the Hours, but like I do it with a band called King's Kaleidoscope, and they do old hymns.
I like that.
And it's so much fun. So that's one way that you can all of a sudden start boosting up your prayer life, because you're reading with scripture every day and you're praying in a new way. So, and you're also doing liturgy at the same time. So it's like a twofer. Or Edmund said like how to tithe without being a grumpy asshole. Like that would be a great article. Stuff like that. So as you take the test, as you pray with the catechism, you're going to start to just kind of develop a lot of ideas naturally. So it's not this forced thing where you're like, I saw a sunset. This is how it connects to the catechism because I'm going to force it into that. It's that you're reading the catechism and it naturally makes you like deeper and you kind of perceive life in a new way. So that's what we want for our articles. Kelsey's going to give some of the practicals because she's going to be editing the crap out of your articles. Wifey?
No, I'm not going to edit the crap out of anything, hopefully. Yeah, what Alan sent you is a document that we put together. It pretty much says what he just said, so I don't need to tell you a third time. But we're going to send out a schedule so you all can choose a week to write that works for you. So that'll be coming shortly. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for them to tell me when they want the first article to be, and then we'll get going. So I'll send that out, and then you guys just pick a day. It'll be in like a Google Doc so we can all see. But your article will be due the day that you sign up for, and it'll be easy. As far as editing, you can let me know if you want to see edits before it's published, or if you don't care, I'll edit and then we'll publish.
Yep. What was the other thing I was going to say?
Wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. Yeah. Okay. So on Thursday, originally we were going to launch the 4-pillar spirituality ebook tomorrow, but since tomorrow's the election, I think it's going to get like lost on the media world of that. So we're either going to launch it on Thursday or next week on Tuesday. All the articles are going to be posted on Tuesday, since that tends to be the spiking moment. But just look, we're going to send you guys the ebook before it goes out publicly, of course. And like you guys are already getting the examination of balance is what we call it. You're going to already get that in your mail today. So I suggest do the test right now, and we'll send you the ebook through the mail, through your email. And you guys should be getting some of these. Each of you guys should be getting one of these. I don't know if any of you have already gotten it, but yeah. Because this is my test right here. I counted it all up and then added up the points, and there's my scores. 5s are like lowish. 4s are super low. There's my soul. I just bared it, whatever it's called.
Or
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Any other questions? Edmund, any comments?
No, this is great. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Get excited, and I have to go.
Cool. Feel free to share your any of this stuff to your closest friends, and we'll see what happens. This is awesome. Do
Yeah, it's really good.
All right.
Yeah. Sweet.
you have to poop, Edmund? Like, why do you look so?
Well, my wife's having a hard. I can tell my wife's having a hard time with the kids. So
Go and
Yeah,
poop,
go.
Edmund. Go help your wife with the kids. Thank you guys so much, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
yeah.
Hi, Edmund. Smile, Fiona.